Inside sources are calling this the most calculated risk in modern broadcast history, as a performer used his own public failures to completely disarm the toughest critic in television. Good evening, we are tracking a developing story from the entertainment sector, where an unconventional audition has completely disrupted traditional network expectations. Historically, hopeful contestants step onto the stage presenting an immaculate portfolio of past achievements, desperately trying to project an aura of undeniable stardom. However, a 27-year-old vocalist completely inverted this formula, openly declaring himself a certified failure to millions of viewers. This bold strategy sent an immediate shockwave through the live studio audience, shifting the atmosphere from standard weekend entertainment to a high-stakes psychological gamble. Industry analysts note that by actively weaponizing his past professional defeats, the performer managed to strip away the cynical exterior of the judging panel before a single musical note was even struck. It was a masterclass in narrative control, forcing the production crew and the executives in the gallery to sit up and pay close attention to an individual who refused to play by the established reality television rulebook. Security details and stage managers reportedly witnessed an immediate shift in the room's energy, marking the exact moment a standard trial evolved into a genuine cultural phenomenon that would soon dominate global media algorithms. Confidential documents revealed the grueling hidden narrative of a relentless 6-month survival campaign, conducted entirely behind the scenes of a local Scottish hospitality venue. Our investigative unit has traced the performer's trajectory back to 2019, where he originally gained regional prominence as a top finalist on a major Southeast Asian vocal franchise. Despite securing a highly competitive position within the top tier of that program, the ultimate prize eluded him, leaving him saddled with a reputation as a perpetual runner-up who could never quite close the deal. Refusing to succumb to career stagnation, he made the radical decision to dismantle his entire life, executing a massive geographic relocation to the working-class districts of Glasgow, Scotland. Far removed from the flashing lights of his previous television appearances, the artist was forced into a grueling survival routine, securing employment as a part-time food service worker to sustain his basic living expenses. For 6 relentless months, he navigated a punishing dual existence, clearing tables by day and attending highly competitive industry cattle calls by night. Sources close to the artist indicate that the constant cycle of regional rejection and economic strain brought him to the absolute brink of abandonment, highlighting the extreme personal costs endured by independent creatives attempting to break through international systemic barriers. Network executives were completely unprepared for a highly unorthodox, unscripted exchange that instantly shattered standard broadcast compliance guidelines. The tension reached a critical flashpoint when the artist finally cleared preliminary security and walked out onto the main stage for his official televised inquest. Standard protocol dictates a brief, polite introductory exchange with the executive producers, but what transpired next completely derailed the production schedule. When lead judge Simon Cowell initiated a routine inquiry regarding a mainstream science fiction film franchise, the contestant fired back with a devastatingly sharp, culturally relevant piece of wit that instantly caught the entire auditorium off guard. The resulting explosion of laughter from the gallery completely dismantled the sterile, intimidating atmosphere that the network actively cultivates to induce anxiety in participants. Eyewitnesses present during the tapping report that the judges were momentarily speechless, realizing they were no longer dealing with a desperate amateur, but an incredibly media-literate force of nature. This brief, unscripted moment of comedic defiance rapidly spread across digital syndication networks, proving that the ability to command a room's psychology is just as vital as vocal mechanics when attempting to capture the attention of a highly cynical global audience. Music industry insiders are calling his controversial repertoire selection a definitive make-or-break gamble that could have permanently blacklisted his career. As the laughter subsided, the operational focus shifted to the musical performance, where the artist unveiled a strategic choice that many experts considered an act of sheer professional recklessness. He announced he would be performing a legendary 80s pop rock anthem, a track universally recognized as an untouchable masterpiece belonging to one of the executive producer's all-time favorite catalog artists. History dictates that executing a subpar rendition of a judge's personal preference results in immediate public elimination and severe reputational damage within the entertainment industry. The choice was a dangerous tightrope walk. Any minor deviation in pitch or emotional delivery would have given the panel a justifiable reason to terminate the audition instantly. Backstage commentators noted that the production staff held their breath as the arrangement began, recognizing that the performer had effectively backed himself into an analytical corner. It was a moment of absolute vulnerability, where the line between a legendary breakthrough and a humiliating national dismissal rested entirely on his vocal control and the precision of his opening notes. Decibel meters inside the venue recorded an unprecedented auditory spike, as the entire auditorium broke out into physical chaos midway through the arrangement. What unfolded next was a masterclass in acoustic dynamics. It completely redefined the limits of live vocal delivery on commercial television. The artist deliberately initiated the piece with a restrained melancholic lower register, intentionally lowering the audience and the evaluation panel into a false sense of predictability. Then, without warning, he transitioned into a series of incredibly complex, soaring vocal runs that pushed his upper range to near impossible limits. The sonic impact was so immediate that it triggered an unprecedented physical reaction from the crowd, forcing thousands of spectators to abandon their seats in a massive standing ovation long before the track had even concluded. The raw power of the performance bypassed the typical corporate skepticism of the judges, culminating in a dramatic moment where Simon Cowell bypassed standard voting protocols entirely. The lead executive struck the central mechanical device, launching the coveted golden theatrical effects into the air, and granting the former regional runner-up an immediate ticket to the high-stakes live broadcast finals, shocking the entire industry. Internal broadcast logs confirmed that a sudden, secondary intervention by station officials has broken a long-standing historical precedent within the franchise. Moving into the highly volatile live semi-final rounds, our media monitors tracked a massive surge in public interest as the performer faced the ultimate test of artistic consistency. Operating under intense scrutiny and enduring a grueling commute between his base in Scotland and the main production studios in London, the pressure to deliver was immense. For his follow-up presentation, he selected a notoriously difficult 70s classic rock ballad, a song infamous for destroying the vocal cords of lesser performers due to its sustained high-register demands. The live broadcast captured a stunning display of vocal prowess, with the artist delivering a flawless performance that left seasoned industry veterans visibly stunned. The resulting frenzy within the studio reached a fever pitch, forcing Judge Amanda Holden to execute a highly irregular, history-making secondary intervention. By striking her own specialized signaling mechanism, she secured a definitive double endorsement for the artist, a rare institutional achievement that immediately altered the betting odds and placed him at the absolute vanguard of the entire competitive season. Ultimate statistical analysis of this broadcast cycle suggests that a complete restructuring of how mainstream media defines talent is currently underway. This extraordinary sequence of events has sparked a wider conversation within the media landscape regarding the validity of industry gatekeeping and the labels placed upon independent artists. The journey from a struggling working-class citizen in Mandaluyong City to a history-making double-endorsed international finalist serves as a stark case study in resilience. It completely undermines the traditional narrative that an early career defeat defines a creator's ultimate potential on the global stage. As entertainment networks scramble to dissect the massive digital metrics generated by these broadcasts, the overarching lesson remains clear to independent analysts worldwide. The modern audience is deeply fatigued by manufactured perfection, and instead responds to raw authenticity, perseverance, and the willingness to take monumental risks in the face of systemic skepticism. Whether this historic run culminates in a definitive contractual victory or not, the artist has successfully reread the rules of reality syndication, proving that a single moment of fearless execution can permanently shatter the labels imposed by the establishment.